Are you a self-storage owner or operator looking for service providers to help at your facility? Well, the Storage Business Owners Alliance, also known as the SBOA, has you covered. The SBOA is a premier online hub for connecting self-storage owners and operators to industry-leading products and service providers. We provide one-stop shopping for your business with exclusive offers to save time and money. At the SBOA, we believe by coming together, we help owners and operators grow revenue, gain purchasing power, reduce expenses, improve efficiencies, and increase profitability. We also offer many resources such as our conferences and self-storage unlock webinars to help self-storage owners and operators gain the knowledge needed to become more competitive in the industry. To become an SBOA member or to find out more information, please visit www.thesboa.com today. We can't wait for you to join the Alliance.
Thought I was muted there for a second, but I wasn't. Good morning, self-storage industry. Thank you for joining us again for another episode of Self-Storage Unlocked. Today, it is talking all about maximizing marketing impact with Google Business Profile. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Jessica Johnson. I'm the president of the SBOA and always very happy to put these on for the industry to help keep everyone out there educated and networking and continuing to learn. So we wouldn't be able to do these great panel webinar styles without our trusted partners. So huge shout out to Storage Reach today for putting this together. We have Kale and Kyla from Storage Reach on today's call. So please, while they're on here and while our speakers, Jim Ross is with us today. Jim Mooney was supposed to be with us today, but unfortunately he has a flight delay, so he might jump in at the end. But we have Iris from my team that's going to jump in because she does all of our Google Business Profile work behind the scenes, and she could talk to you from that perspective. So if you want to interact with us and interact with the speakers, I highly encourage you to do so. This is your time to talk with them live. You can do that over in the comment section. I see some of you are telling us your name and where you're from. Please continue to do that. We'll ask a few poll questions throughout today's presentation. If you could answer those polls, it just helps us to get to know you better. So again, a huge shout out to Storage Reach for putting this together for you today along with us, and 3 Mile Storage, Jim Ross from 3 Mile, and then Freedom Storage Management, Jim Mooney from over there. And hopefully Jim gets to come in towards the end. So I'm going to bring up our first panelist and the one that's going to take over and moderate this bad boy today. I've got Kale from Storage Reach. Good morning, Kale.
Morning. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Kale, tell us a little bit about you and your storage background, because you've got quite the storage background, and then how you've kind of transformed in this Storage Reach deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So like I said, my name's Kale. I am the CEO and co-founder of Storage Reach. We are a automated platform to help facilities generate and manage their Google reviews. My background started kind of right out of college. I joined Easy Storage Solutions. I became the vice president of marketing at Easy Storage back when Easy Storage was, really small, had about 100 clients. I ended up helping run their marketing division, where we offered SEO and online marketing to clients. Was able to grow that in the 7 years that I was there from 0 clients to over 1,500. Was able to be a part of the Easy Storage marketing team as well, and actually marketing Easy Storage. After Easy Storage was purchased, I was able to move over with the Storable team for a while. I was the webmaster at Storable, worked pretty closely over there. During that time, during my time with Easy Storage and managing all of those SEO accounts, I really saw the power in reviews, how much reviews impacted storage facilities, Google My Business pages, how much it impacted their ranking, their website traffic, and conversion rates as well. When we always recommend to facilities, whether or not, they could, is to generate reviews. That always, would go for about a week or so, and then they'd kind of stop. So I left Storable, wanted to create a platform that helped to generate those reviews efficiently and affordably. And that's Storage Reach, and that's where we're at today.
That's awesome. And yeah, I'm happy that we're doing this topic. I think it's critical. Anything to help SEO. I tell everyone out there, Google's algorithm right now, I think the last time I looked, there's 149 different factors that play into that algorithm. If you could at least try to own maybe the top 10 as an owner operator, I think you're doing right. Like, obviously you're not going to do all 149. It would be impossible. Yeah. I think even if you had a team, but search demand is down overall for self-storage. So we need to be getting them to us quickly. And I always say, whatever you can do to feed that Google beast, the reviews, clear photos, updating your profile, whatever it may be. These are very simple tasks that are pretty much free for you to do, or, utilize a resource like Storage Reach, which is a minimal cost to get you the results that you need. So again, can't wait to discuss this today.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, I'm going to bring up Jim Ross from 3 Mile Storage. Jim, how are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good. Jim, tell us, I'm pretty sure everybody in the industry knows who you are, but tell us who you are just in case and what you do over at 3 Mile.
Of course. I'll keep it short and sweet here. No, my day job is I run a property management company. Done that for a minute or maybe 20 years. I don't know, time flies. So I do property management, and a lot of the stuff that I talk about in my podcast or trainings and things like that is this kind of what I'm doing day in and day out. So being invited to do something like this and talk about Google Business Profile is awesome because that's what I do to help.
Yeah. And you've been doing this training, right? You offer this training to your community and your following?
For sure. Yep, definitely. Yeah. Anything that can help move the needle to get, phone calls and rentals, for sure. So this is a great topic.
This definitely is one. Well, thanks for being here, Jim. I'm going to bring up Kyla next from Storage Reach. Kyla is going to be here with us today as well. Good morning, Kyla.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Tell us all about you. You've got quite the storage background too.
Yes. So I've been in marketing for probably about 10 years. And about 5 years ago, joined Kale actually at Easy Storage Solutions. I came on the marketing team there. SEO and content marketing was kind of the background that I came in with. Then I moved, same with Kale, to Storable, and I worked on the Storable creative team for a while. There I did content again and kind of this background of writing and creative, but also SEO marketing for storage facilities. And when Kale moved over to Storage Reach, I knew I had to follow again. So here I am. It's been a wonderful change, and it's been fun being in this storage industry.
That's awesome. And yeah, we get really good reviews about your product, your program, your services. I know, unfortunately, like I said, I hope Jim Mooney is able to jump in it towards the end. I know he utilizes you guys, and he speaks across the country like I do at all the trade shows. And I saw recently a presentation that he did where he was showing results prior to using Storage Reach and then using you guys, and just how many more reviews he got. And that's critical stuff. So I really encourage the audience, as you listen to today, if you have any interest in learning more about Storage Reach, you reach out to either Kyla or Kale and get more information. So, and I'm going to bring up our last panelist, last but certainly not least. I have Iris from our team today, and Iris does all of our Google Business Profile work. So Iris is going to step in for Jim Mooney since he's not here. And if he joins in, we'll add him in later. But Iris, tell us all about you and your storage experience.
So I have been with the SBOA since 2022, and I'm the marketing manager, and I handle our Google accounts, our advertising. And I think this is a great, really important topic for everybody who has a business, because 99% of the world is using Google to find products and services. So I'm glad that we're all getting together. We have great experts here, and hopefully, like you said, Jim Mooney will be able to join us later too.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you mentioned it's not just for storage, it's for any type of business that you have out there. I own 3 bars in Jacksonville, and we're actually in the month of June. All my bartenders were running a Google review contest because we had a couple bad ones come in. So I'm trying to get some positive ones in there to kind of help bury some of those negative ones. But, I teach them, they got a QR code, they hand it out to a customer, they ask for the review, they ask for them to mention their name. And that's the contest that we're doing. So we can get into talking about that with everybody too, about how you can incentivize your teams even to try to, attract and get some of these reviews in for you. So let's bring everybody up and let's get this started. And Kale, I'm going to let you kick it off. For those out there that don't know what a Google Business Profile is, tell me what it is.
Yeah, for sure. So Google Business Profile, kind of like what you said, it's a free tool that Google provides in order for you to, show your local and rank locally on the searches that your industry is in. It's a tool that allows you to kind of manage your online presence. It's a way for Google to say, all right, these are all the local businesses in the area, and these are how we're gonna show you where they're at on the map. We're gonna show you their rankings. We're gonna show you their reviews. A number of different things. An interesting tidbit about the Google Map Pack is about 46% of searches on Google are for local businesses, which is a pretty high number. 50% of those clicks on local businesses or for searches on local businesses are actually going to the Google Map Pack. So it's a really powerful tool. That's an extraordinary amount of clicks going to that map pack. And the nice thing about the map pack is it is a free tool. It's a way for you to compete with, maybe a REIT in your area or somebody with a bigger budget and maybe pay-per-click. It's a nice way that, small businesses can compete with the big players because that doesn't really matter how much you're spending. What matters is whether or not you're optimized, whether or not you're getting reviews, proximity to the locations, and a number of different things that we're most likely going to talk about today. So it's a free tool. I encourage everybody to use it, and we can kind of continue on from there.
Well, and you mentioned Map Pack. And again, just for the audience that might not know what that acronym is or what that means, can you explain that?
Yeah, so the Google Map Pack is when you're searching locally, there is, I'm sure you've seen it on the top of your searches. There's that map at the top that has like A, B, or C that shows different local businesses. That's what we call the Google Map Pack. You can click into that map pack and view as many local businesses as you want on that Google Maps page. But the map pack is just that listing at the top that actually shows those maps.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Now let's go into, Kyla, maybe you could tell me a little bit about this because I'm sure you do work with this. What's like some of the easy ways to help optimize a GBP, not GM, whatever the acronym is now, a GBP page?
Yeah, so it used to be Google My Business, now Google Business Profile. You probably hear both GMB or GBP. Either way, you definitely want to make sure your information's accurate. People are on there looking for your facility hours, your phone number, links to your website. So all that information is really important to make sure it's accurate and up to date. You want to use photos if you can. Take photos of your facility. If people are asking about security, the entrance, anything like that, add those to your listings because then it's right there. That information's readily available. Other things is if you have offers, you can post them. There's a functionality to post almost like a social media. So it's easy to add, here's the special we're running for this month. Any of those types of things, add them to there. Make sure it's readily available when people are looking. And then one other thing we always push is reply to comments, good or bad. The feedback is important and people will make decisions based off of those reviews that are on there. So if they see you're replying, you're understanding, you're taking in the critical feedback, if you're responding to the good ones, all of that helps clients and potential customers make a decision.
Yeah, definitely. And this is, I would say, something that you want to be looking at often. How often would you say, and Jim, I'll toss this one over to you because I know you do training on this. Yeah. How often are you telling people that they should be going to their Google Business Profile and making updates? Is it like a weekly thing, bi-weekly, monthly? What do you suggest as far as a cadence?
I used to say weekly, but no one does it. So if you can do at least once a month, seriously, if you do at least once a month, you know, because we all do like our month-end reports, we're looking at our monthly summaries, that kind of thing. Just add that to your checklist. I'm like, all right, cool. Checking this. Now I'm going to check my Google Business profile because things are always changing. And there's kind of like a little carousel at the bottom of your profile that's almost like a little to-do list that Google is giving you. And all the updates and things will be right there. So it's one of those things where it's just keep it top of mind. At least once a month is good to go in just to double check what's new, what's changed, because there have been some recent announcements of things that are actually changing. So, yeah.
Well, we do this, you know, like even, I'm sorry, Kale, I'll get to you in just a second. Just on like the social media side, you know, we're saying at least post at least, you know, once a week, because what pains me the most is when I see a business that has been dormant for like 6 months and then all of a sudden there's like rapid fire posts for like 4 weeks in a row, and then they go dormant again for another 6 months. There's like no consistency there. So some sort of consistent frequency is something that you should definitely put into play. There's many tools. Iris, talk about Hootsuite and how you utilize Hootsuite to kind of help with that process.
Hootsuite is great for your social media presence because if you have more than one platform, which most of us do, we have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn. So Hootsuite allows us to go in and make one post, and Hootsuite distributes it to all of our platforms for us. And we can schedule it out. I can schedule it out a month ahead of time if I want to. And best of all, it's free. So you can't lose with that. And it has an automatic scheduling feature where it will schedule it for the best time for your audience when it will be seen by the most eyes. So I love Hootsuite. I know lots of people use it. And we use it in conjunction almost all the time with Canva, which is another free service to create your graphics.
Yeah, definitely. Kale, you were going to say something. Sorry, I'm going to go to you.
Yeah, no. So going back on, you know, what Jim said is checking it often, checking your Google business page often, because there are things that, you know, we've seen across the industry. Sometimes things get changed. So you want to make a conscious effort to stay on top of that. In Google business page, this is getting kind of more down to the nitty gritty stuff, but there are ways that people can go on, they can suggest an edit on your Google business page. Sometimes Google doesn't notify us if those edits are actually applied to your business page. So like when Jim said, you want to go on it weekly to check because, you know, something like an hour changed by somebody and for some reason Google didn't notify you of that. You want to make sure that you're checking on that because that can be, you know, catastrophic to your, not catastrophic, but it can cause a bad impression on somebody that is wanting to use your facility or wanting to look at your facility. Maybe the open hours were changed and you didn't notice that. They weren't trying to contact you and you're closed, kind of makes your customer service look bad, and can kind of cause a domino effect from there. So making sure you're keeping it up to date and checking on it is extremely important.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought up operating hours. I mean, I think that's, you know, every piece of information needs to be accurate, right? Especially if you're going to be across multiple listings. If your Google business profile, let's say you're on ABC Street and it's written out as street, but then another listing, you abbreviated it ST period, you know, that could cause some issues with citations and everything. So that's something else we could talk about. But with all of this being said, let's talk about a little bit of how you're going to leverage this for engagement and growth within your business, Kale.
Yeah, I mean, so the first step to leverage that is, you know, there's optimizing that page to the best of your ability is going to be the first step, because, you know, once you're optimized, you'll be able to leverage that to rank higher on Google. And like I said before, 46% of clicks are going to local searches and 50% of those are going to your Google business page. So just by optimizing that and ranking higher is going to be a huge benefit for you and your business. But there are different things in the optimization process. You know, Jim's gone through this a lot with his clients, but like categories, for example. Luckily in storage, we don't have a lot of choices in categories. In Google business pages, there's over 4,000 different categories that you can choose from. In storage, we have about 4 or 5 that we want to choose from as our primary category. That primary category is going to be the most important category that you want to rank for. If you're an RV and boat for storage facility, you would want to do RV storage. If you're self-storage, what we found is the most powerful one is self-storage facility, because that, you know, includes a longer tail keyword than just self-storage. So that primary category is your most targeted keyword that you want to rank for. And then then you also have like your secondary categories, and the secondary categories are not necessarily as weighted as heavily, but they are, up there with the ranking factor is your primary category. So there's where if you want to put like RV storage, or if you want to put box and moving supplies, things like that, you can add into those services. So just enable to utilize Google My Business Optimizer or Google Business Page Star to the best of your ability is going to be the best way to leverage that. And then, we can go into the topic of reviews, because that is a large topic in that. But as far as optimizing it goes, that's kind of the first step I would take in order to leverage that. And the categories is one of the most primary ones that you can hit.
Yeah, and I had a brain moment there. I'm going to go back to my hours comment, because I stopped and made a different comment about citations and listings. But back to the hours, and I saw this a lot through COVID. People were not updating their hours, and that is frustrating to a consumer to go onto Google and expect to pull up to your front door of your facility and you're still open at 8 p.m. if it says that, and then you not be. So definitely, doing the operating hours, and then with people being like remotely managed now, making sure that that's listed there, hours of operation for the office, or when you can actually come in and speak to somebody. I mean, those are going to be critical things to have out there on that page. So let's get into the review talk. Jim, you're doing a lot with the Google review side, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Talk me through that. Like, what's the process look for you? Like, how do you train your staff on get the review, ask for the review? What do you do?
Well, process is the key word right there, because I've done it before and after. I've done it before when it's been like a manual thing of like, okay, they're coming in, training the managers to, make sure you're asking for the review before they leave out the door. But a lot of us now are remote, or a lot of people are moving in remotely and not in the office. And so we were losing that communication. So it's just, that's where Storage Reach kind of came into play, but it's just systematizing those requests. So you're hitting them when they move in, and that's usually when they're actually the most apt to following through and giving you a review, is when they've already said yes to moving in. They've said yes to giving you money. Cool. Now they're going to give you a review. So it pings them right then when they're moving in, a couple times as their current customers, and again when they move out. So you're spreading it out. But if it was just up to not having a system and just being like, oh yeah, I should send out some review requests, you're leaving so much on the table. And as soon as I started doing the systematizing it was night and day, seriously, compared to what we were getting before.
Yeah. I mean, like I had mentioned earlier with the one bar in Jacksonville, like we're doing a contest right now, but I'm hoping with a 30-day contest, after that, it just becomes like inherent for my bartenders to start like keep asking. Let's pray it does. But that's kind of the goal with it, right? And whoever wins is going to get bonused on it. So Cale, talk me through that. Do you hear a lot of owners and operators say that they have this built into like a management incentive program that they offer?
Yeah, we hear that a lot. And that's, the best way to get it is face-to-face if you're going to be requesting it.
Sure.
If you don't have a manager in place, or, a lot of times managers just forget. There's a lot of things on their plate to do, especially on a move in or move out. There's a lot of things that they're doing, and they're managing a facility. So that's where we kind of came into play, is just wanting to systemize that, automate that process. So those people that maybe your manager isn't talking to, or if you are remote, those people that you don't have an opportunity to ask, we're connecting with, we're hitting, and we are, requesting that review and getting that capitalized on a great customer experience that, your facility is providing. But yeah, as far as like incentivizing goes, we have seen different things where, if a manager gets a review, they get a $10 bonus, or we've seen if they do contests and stuff as well, kind of like you're talking about. I've seen that quite often, but really the best thing to have in place is just a system, whether that's with